ever feel like sometimes things could be a little more balanced in your relationships? And I'm not even talking about like, whose turn it is to do the dishes or anything.
Right.
Today we're going to do a deep dive on relationship equality.
Yeah.
We've got some really good stuff to get into today. And I think even if you're not even in a relationship right now, you could probably get something out of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's really about just all kinds of relationships, really.
For sure.
But yeah, relationship equality, we found this source. It has five really solid, concise tips.
Okay.
No fluff, just straight to it, very actionable.
Love it.
And I think we should just dive right in because there's a lot to unpack here.
Let's do it.
Okay. So tip number 1 is shared responsibility.
Okay.
Now, when I first read that, I was like, okay, well, yeah, obviously, like, chores and finances and stuff.
Right.
But then I was like, wait a minute. It's kind of deeper than that, isn't it?
It is. It is. That's, kind of the obvious stuff.
Right.
But it's the emotional labor, right? It's the invisible labor in a relationship.
Yeah.
Who is the one that is always, bringing up the difficult conversations that need to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Who's remembering birthdays, anniversaries, all that? And if that's not balanced, that's a recipe for resentment to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so easy to just let that slide
Right.
until, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Exactly. And I think this is something that's important actually to schedule, make time for a relationship check-in to actually talk about those things, How are we feeling? What needs to be rebalanced? And being proactive about that rather than letting those things build up.
Oh, I love that. Scheduling it. Yeah, like a standing meeting almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so tip number 2 is joint decisions.
Okay.
And, at first I was like, well, duh. But then I started thinking, even something as seemingly as simple as like planning a vacation.
Right.
Can become this weird power struggle if one person's kind of calling all the shots,
Yeah. It's so true. And it's not even always about the big decisions, right? It's like the consistency over time of one person making all the decisions, even small ones. It really can start to chip away at someone's sense of agency in the relationship. Imagine always, your partner always choosing what you have for dinner.
Right.
And after a while, that's not going to feel good.
Right. It's like you're just, stuck in the passenger seat of your own life or something.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Tip number 3 is respectful disagreement.
Okay.
And this one I thought was really interesting because, it's not about always agreeing. Like that's not equality.
Right.
It's about like you can disagree.
Yeah.
But it's the respect there.
It's how you disagree.
Right.
It's valuing the other person's opinion, even if it's different from yours.
Right, exactly. It makes me think of a couple of my really good friends. Their taste in music is like total opposites.
Okay.
She loves classical music, and he is a diehard heavy metal fan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But they just like totally embrace it and laugh about it and like it's fine,
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that kind of like acceptance and like you said, that respect.
Yeah, and that they can still have a healthy relationship and not have to have the same taste in music, right?
Exactly. Okay, well that leads perfectly into tip number 4, which is open communication.
Okay.
And this kind of feels like almost like I don't know, like taking the temperature of the relationship or something,
Yes, totally. And like any important conversation, it's about making a space to have those conversations where both people feel safe and heard and validated.
Right.
And it's less about, blaming and accusing and more about just like really being able to hear your partner.
Right, being present and listening.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and that brings us to the last one, tip number 5, mutual support. And this is a big one.
It is a big one. And this is about more than just, splitting the chores and the practical things of life, right? This is about supporting each other's dreams.
Yeah.
This is about, if your partner has a passion project, how can you support them in that? Can you shift your schedule
Yeah.
to be there for them?
Yeah.
It's really about, that willingness to adjust and to support your partner's dreams. That's where that equality really comes in.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, these 5 tips they seem simple,
Right.
but there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
There is. And I
Yeah.
think that they really do make you kind of think about, the deeper dynamics of relationships in general.
Yeah.
And not just romantic ones.
Right, exactly.
Back to
All relationships.
So thinking about all this, what is one small step that you could take today to kind of move toward more equality in your relationships, whatever those relationships are?